Moving on. Leadership is about policy and SMART objectives. And you see how I highlight the R word? SMART. SMART stands for what in this?
Specific, measurable,
attainable, relevant, and
Very good. Give me a chip there. Now the thing about, if you are customer focused, you need to make a statement about that to your customers and to your staff. And that's where the policy comes in. State your intent. But as well as that, you must have objectives that are SMART related to that. Now I know when you look at the literature, it says R is realistic. First of all, achievable and realistic mean by it. Right? The important word there is that it is linked to your strategic direction. So R is real. Now, if you decide to use R as realistic, then you have to make that aligned. The A is aligned. Either way, one of those letters must imply linked to your strategic direction. Because if your objectives are not linked to your strategic direction, you will never reach your strategic direction. You'll never reach the vision. Now, this thing about SMART objectives. So my husband and I started walking on mornings. Anybody can attest to that? Yes. Who can attest to that? Nobody has seen me yet? Nelson Mandela Drive, we're walking there. So when we started walking, my husband said to me, so Betty, you always talk about beginning with the end in mind. So what's the end behind we have as far as this walking is concerned? I said, well, my thing is I like to see an exciting end. So what I visualize is you with a six-pack and a tank top. You know, that's what I visualize. He tell me, he tell me, Betty, instead you say low blood pressure, low cholesterol. And you the one who always say objectives have to be measurable. So I said to him, but what are you talking about? A six-pack, is a six-pack not measurable, ladies? 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 I tell you, a six-pack is measurable. You see, the thing about measurable, it means it can be verified. Can you not verify a six-pack? Yes. Do we have a six-pack here to be verified? Where is it? Measurable means it can be verified. So we told about my first son understands QMS, well I guess because he grew up with it. So my first son, when I told him about that, he says to me, but Mom, you always say the objectives have to be SMART, but can Daddy get a six-pack by just walking on a morning? That's not very achievable. I said, you're right, son. And he said, Mommy, a six-pack requires core training. You know? Is it achievable? Whenever you give it an experience, take into consideration all the senses. I remember entering an ice cream parlor. And as soon as I entered, I took this strong smell of bleach. And so I said to the attendant, why is there such a strong smell of bleach in here? And she says to me, the mop was just so dirty I had to put it to soak. I said, aren't you concerned that the smell of the bleach will get into the ice cream? She didn't take me on. Is that ice cream parlor still there? Not anymore. I wasn't surprised. Because the attendant didn't get the idea of it's an experience. If I'm entering an ice cream parlor, I want to smell strawberry, cones, vanilla. I don't want to smell bleach. And plus bleach, the thing about ice cream is they absorb odors easily. The smell of the bleach will not go in the ice cream. So decide on the experience you want to give. You decide on the experience you want to give, which includes your value proposition, and QMS allows you to deliver it. Consistency. There. Any sound relationship is based on that T word. What's that T word?
Trust.
Here you go, Anthony. Now, before you leave for break, check your chips, eh?
There's no trust in this room.
There's a phrase we have as far as certification. In God we trust, in everybody else we need objective evidence. So relationship management, that's the beauty of this. And it starts off and ends with relationship management. So any good relationship is based on trust. And so I'd like to talk about the C's of trust, right? So let's go to each table. Give me a C of trust. Give me a word that starts with C that tells you can trust the person. Communication. Give me a C of trust. Come on, people, you're in relationship. Caring. A C of trust. Commitment. A C of trust. Anthony tell me caress. Anthony, we're selling that under caring and we say be careful with the customer. Consistency of delivery. Well done. Talk to us, a C word. Clarity. I tell people that, clarity, especially when you're communicating. You know, sometimes the language we're using is so technical, we're not reaching anybody. Clarity. We had concerns there. So, another one and the two key ones you're missing is competence. That is why you go to a doctor versus go to the food vendor if you're ill. Because the competence of the doctor. Another one that's important is your character. I mean, if the people know you're a thief, you can't now come and say you want this in a relationship. So your character also comes into play. These are the C's of trust. To validate is the check against what the customer requires. You know, my husband, well, I gave him $300 on a grocery list recently. So he went to the supermarket for me, asking, because I'm responsible for groceries at my home. So as far as paying for it as well, so I gave him the $300. He came back, and my husband is he's a stickler for financial accountability. So be aware he's coming back with the receipts. And if he bought plantain at the side of the road, he write plantain, $5. You know, and this is good. This is good. However, when he came back with the $100, I mean, I went groceries. I knew this groceries should have come to more than $200. So I knew right away something suspect. Anyhow, then I looked at the grocery list. And on the grocery list, there were no markings. So he attached the receipts to the grocery list and gave me the change. So he has taken care of the financial accountability. But the grocery list had no checks on it, no crossing out, no ticks, nothing. He missed out something. I knew he missed out. Plus the money thing told me that was he came back with $100. And then I did not see that check against my requirements. That check is a validation check. He was missing something for sure. Now what he wanted me to do now, check the list against the bill. If you're about delivering satisfactory, you do that check before you tell me, here you are. And that's validation. Validation is that check you do against the customer needs and expectations. And only then can God be customer focused. And with that, we take it.